Today we will be making an orange cake with marshmallow frosting from the Battle Cake Cookbook, a collection of well-tested recipes. This recipe was sent in by Miss Bertha Bush Minahan, and this cookbook was sponsored by the Battle Cake Sanatorium, which was a sanatorium that John Harvey Kellogg founded. We start out with 2 cups of butter and 2 cups of sugar creamed together. 2 cups sugar and 2 cups butter go in and cream them. There was a little debate about how much sugar because it says 2-3 cups butter, and don't know what that means. Could mean 2/3 or 2 to 3. Yeah, what are you gonna know? Cream. So now you need 5 yolks of eggs. Don't throw away the whites. You need them for later parts in this recipe. And add them to the mixture. Now that your egg yolks have been incorporated, they're very similar. You need to add juice and zest of 2 oranges diluted in water till it's about 1 cup. Right there. I don't know why, but that's what Miss Bertha says to do, and I'm following her instructions. Very wet noises. Now, we need to sift in flour, 2 cups, correct? 2 cups. And 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons, tablespoons would be way too much, teaspoons of baking powder. It's not. There you go. Now, you need to beat your egg whites until they have a little stiffer than that. Stiff peaks. That's close enough. Grab your butter. Cut. Now, you need to fold in your egg whites. This is a pretty delicate process, and it's hard to get this all on camera. But you need to, put that in, put the whisk down, and slowly incorporate them to not deflate them. Now, Miss Bertha Bush did not give baking instructions, bless her heart, but D. Dylan Hollow's Baking Extra, great cookbook, has a cake that's very similar to this, Lady Baltimore, ironically, that gives baking instructions for 350 for 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to follow that and hope it works out. Put these in the oven. Now, while that cake bakes, we'll talk a little bit about history. John Harvey Kellogg had a fairly normal childhood for someone growing up in the 1850s. He gets interesting later in his life, around when he formed a rivalry with his brother. I'm not going to go too in-depth in that there because it's not really important to American history, but there's a good book and a good YouTube video that goes much more in-depth on that I will hopefully put somewhere. I might not. I'm very tired. He was very pro-celibacy. He did make improvements in the world of health, somehow. He's so crazy. He was a vegetarian, which is commonly seen today as at least halfway decent diet. There's some debate about that, but food's confusing. We're not here to talk about food, except for we kind of are. Never mind. He did light therapy, which gives you cancer, but I guess it can be seen as helpful if someone's cooped up inside all day. It does, bring down their mood. And light therapy would help with that. But it also gives you cancer. In his sanatorium, he did have some notable guests, such as William Howard Taft, the at the time, former U.S. president, and Henry Ford. These people managed to... His relationship with people like these managed to get him spinned in a way where he could fund his own science without any peer reviewing and without any sponsorships from the government that let him follow his own beliefs, the good ones and the bad ones. The bad ones, such as brought up all eugenics, very bad. And the good ones, such as use of fiber in food, which he loved fiber. Fiber was his big thing. He also tried to improve, like, health in men, which white men of there are. Like, they need to be more healthy. They've been around for way too long. This eventually spun off into modern pseudoscience of today, not like the anti-vax movement that was started by, what's that guy's name? It doesn't matter. But started in other pseudosciences, such as light therapy, which can kind of be helpful, but is also a pseudoscience, and enemas, which are making a comeback for some reason, and like how the food you eat affects your personality, which there's been like no research by him nor anyone else to show that's true, but he said it's true. So, and that spins off into today's modern politics and people such as RFK Jr., who are very pseudoscience-y and are trying to push this follow into the modern zeitgeist. Now, I just want to say, doesn't really matter, but I feel like I should give credit to the person who I just directly sold this concept from. Max Miller, love him. He goes into he does history and food, love him. He's great. He did his own video on Kellogg that goes more into the feud between him and his brother, and less about what I went into. Watch that if you want more. Now, this is unfinished cake. I frosted it off camera because the frosting was too difficult to film. The recipe for the frosting is 2 cups sugar, half cup of water, till it gets to a starting. It's called thread stage in frosting, and then you pour this over 2 beaten eggs like I showed you earlier with the making of the cake batter. It looks like egg salad. It tastes good though, I tried it. There's half a pound of marshmallows cut in, and it's quite enjoyable. Now, what you did, I bet you guys noticed, those 4 whole cups of sugar and 2 whole cups of butter. That's a little bit weird for a health maniac like Kellogg was. This was not a recipe from the sanatorium. This is a recipe sponsored by the sanatorium. My theory is, this has not been directly confirmed nor denied anywhere, is that he used this cookbook to be like, oh, look at us in the sanatorium. We're having so much fun having these delicious cakes. And use that to lure in rich white men who could afford 4 cups of sugar and 2 cups of butter, which is a lot of money back in the 1850s. This sanatorium was founded with his cornflake money, which he patented the cornflake extruder. Quick rundown of the timeline events, because I feel like I didn't go over the dates well enough. I immediately forgot them. Let me check my notes here. In 1986, John Harvey Kellogg, quick rundown of the timelines. In 1896, I got that date right for once, Kellogg published a patent to make flaked corn cereal, or better known as cornflakes or frosted flakes, whatever varietal you prefer. Today, 7 years later, Kellogg founded, with his cornflake money, the Battle Creek Sanatorium, which was the founding of the word sanatorium. I might have already said that. Yeah. Which then sponsored a cookbook published in 1922. Quick, I don't want to edit stuff in, so here's looky here. Just look at my computer screen. And on the page above this, those are swastikas. That's just kind of showing how closely connected. This was not completely confirmed to be Nazi swastikas because the swastika was just adopted by the Nazi Party 2 years ago. But those are swastikas in Michigan on the other side of the world. So, like, a 50-50 shot. But right below it is, oh my god, this is so hard to control, is one of Kellogg's businesses, his Battle Creek Sanatorium.